7 strict rules for teachers in the 1920s. 1. Teachers couldn't get married. Most teachers were young women. They were more willing to accept lower salaries. Teaching was seen as preparation for family life, but women had to leave teaching to get married. Marriage would normally be followed by pregnancy. A pregnant teacher couldn't finish the term. It would be difficult to replace her. Some women kept marriages and pregnancies secret. Married teachers were accused of ignoring their wifely duties. They were supposedly stealing jobs from single women. No one complained about married men though. They were considered the breadwinners. They were paid 3 times as much as women. 2. Teachers couldn't have fun. Schools were focused on moral instruction. They didn't want the children to do certain things. So these things were also banned for the teachers. Female teachers couldn't be in the company of men. The only exception was their relatives. Drinking or smoking could get a teacher fired. They couldn't even go to an ice cream parlor. Some schools forbade teachers from singing in church. School leaders felt it was unbecoming. 3. Teachers couldn't go beyond the city limits. They had to get permission from the school board first. Female teachers couldn't travel with men. They were forbidden from leaving home after 8 p.m. In the evening, they could only attend school functions. 4. Teachers had to do janitorial work. They swept the classroom at least once a day. Outbreaks of infections were common. Teachers had to ensure a clean space for students. Once a week, they scrubbed the floor with hot soap water. Teachers came to school by 7 a.m. each morning. Sometimes they walked miles to get to work. They had to start a fire to warm up the classroom. 5. Teachers could be fired because of hair or clothes. They couldn't dress in bright colors. Dresses had to reach the ankles. Teachers had to wear at least 2 petticoats. They weren't allowed makeup. They couldn't dye their hair. 6. Teachers had to manage up to 40 students. Schools were overcrowded. In rural areas, all grade levels were put together. The students sat in a small room with only one teacher. The teacher had to give attention to each grade. Many students had arrived in the U.S. only recently. They didn't have sufficient food or clothing. They had to work before or after school. Children were socialized in the streets. Brooklyn teachers even had to contend with student riots. Teachers had to maintain total control in the classroom. Women were expected to use their maternal instincts, but gentleness was a liability. Many teachers succumbed to stress. They resorted to threats of physical punishment. These methods were criticized by the public. They were seen as proof that women couldn't do the job. Men could get away with using corporal punishment. 7. Teachers had no job security. They could be fired merely for speaking out. Their contracts could be terminated at any time. Teachers weren't given any reason or notice. Older teachers were frequently replaced. Friends of board members got jobs over other applicants.